Yes, welcome to my second video of the day. Yeah, let's talk about this. People. I've noticed that a lot of people are just watching my videos, thousands and thousands of people watching my videos, but you are not subscribing. Please subscribe so that this channel can grow. Um, I thought that I should bring in a second video this afternoon because there's a lot that has been happening today. A lot. This guy, Ben Chilwell, for the first time, Chilwell has come with some stories now. I think something might happen there, but there are some issues as well. One, there is a team called Neon SC. They are scouting him. They are looking at him. They want him. This team is actually from Saudi Arabia, so they can actually afford his salary. I think Ben Chio is actually at about £200,000 a week, the wages. Chelsea, they were looking to offload him between 25 to about £30 million, so they can still afford that as well. This Saudi team, I think you saw what happens with Joao Felix last week. It was just a discussion for 3 days. The next thing, the deal has been signed. So this team can actually do that as well for Ben Chilwell. Um, but the challenge is that he seemed not to be interested to go to Saudi. He wants to play in Europe. So I don't know if there is someone in Europe other than in UK who can afford to pay 200,000 for him. So that is the challenge. And I'm not also sure if he is willing to move and maybe part of his wages, maybe to go to Germany, France, Italy. Those are some of the countries that can he can go and play, but the issue is that they cannot afford the £200,000 as well. Otherwise, Chelsea will have to be forced to loan him out. So let's wait and see what would be the outcome on this of this matter. But my issue is that he has to leave. Obviously, as you can see, Hato is coming. His deal is almost done. There's Kukulera there as well. And you can see that the last season he spent on loan, he didn't actually play a lot of games as well while he was at Crystal Palace. I think he only played very few games because most of the time he was injured. So let's see what happens with this story. Then the next story that I also wanted to bring in is also a new one as well, that is coming up is for Armando Broja. Armando Broja we know very well that he was at Everton last season on loan. The same thing as Ben Chilwell. He didn't play much. This guy is prone to injuries. Armando Broja is also prone to injuries. I don't know what his problem is. So there are some interest from Leipzig as well as Stuttgart in Germany. Chelsea has also put a price for him for 25 million pounds. But as you also know that this guy came through our juniors. So if we get that 25 or 20 million euros, I mean 20 million pounds, it means that it will be direct profit for Chelsea. So also it's something that we also need to look at and watch and monitor. But the fact of the matter is that this guy needs to go. You know what? Even if Chelsea has to get 10 million for him, he has to go because the problem is that we still continue pay his wages for the last almost 10 years when he was with the team. He goes on loan. He comes back. Sometimes we do the condition that the other team will buy him on the contract, but then the team will come back and say, no, we are not interested. The same with Everton. They really wanted him at first. When they realized that one, is prone to injuries, and also the days that he plays or the matches that he plays, he doesn't perform well, he doesn't score goals. So he comes back again to Chelsea. So I think for me, even if they get 10 or 15 million pounds, they might just let him go so that we can deal with other matters than this one. Then any other business section, we have a lot as well from Manchester United. So Manchester United, they're in Sesko. They actually sent a delegation to Germany this morning to try and hijack Sesko from Newcastle. And the indication that is there at the moment from the player himself is that he is more interested to go to United than Newcastle, right? So that is actually prompt Manchester United to send people to Germany to try to understand what they can do if they can bring him over and so the Manchester United people are in Germany and they are discussing the matter. You know, yesterday I spoke about Newcastle, right? And I say to Newcastle, they've been pushing and pushing and pushing this Sesko deal. And now Manchester United, they've joined the party. The chances are that Sesko will go to Manchester United, right? I said if if I was the owners of Newcastle, I've realized one thing, right? They are a lot of teams, your Liverpool of this world. Look what happened with Eketike, your Manchester City, your Chelsea's, and whatever. As long as those teams are interested in the player that Newcastle wants, the player will not go to what? Will not go to Newcastle. The only player they managed to buy this season was Ilanga. And remember, nobody wanted Ilanga maybe from the top six of top five or top four. So that's why it was easy for them to go and buy him, right? But for all these players, when United wants, Chelsea wants, Liverpool wants, Arsenal wants, they can't they won't be able to compete in that league. So that's why they've also put Nicholas Jackson on their list because they know that if they can't get Sesko, they will then try um, Nicholas Jackson. They can try Ollie Witkins from Villa, right? And then probably those are the two players they will end up having because otherwise they are going to have issues. While talking about Newcastle, Isaac has already agreed personal terms with Liverpool. So it's happening, guys. It's happening. Very soon, Isaac will then leave for Liverpool. I think what is only left is the agreement with, obviously, with Newcastle, how much they are going to pay and so forth. But the thing is that as much as Newcastle wants to hold on to Isak, you know what? You cannot hold on to happy player. If he's not happy, if he doesn't want Newcastle anymore, just let him go and look for other strikers. And Newcastle is actually making blunders here. They should have just gone by Nicholas Jackson, by Ollie Witkins, and bring him to the club, and then start having these pre-season with these players so that they can get used to. Because what is going to happen now is that I think in the 15th, 18th, the league will start, right? So it means just there's 2 weeks away from now, the league is going to start. You are going to start the league without your top striker. In fact, they are going to start the league without a striker themselves. So you need to move now, Newcastle. If I were you, I could move in, just buy these players. You are going to get 100 million plus for Isak in any case. So just go and buy Nicholas Jackson for 60 million. Maybe you can just negotiate 55 or 60 million with Chelsea. You get the striker, you are good to go. So let's see what happens with that story. Then I was talking about Ortega in the morning. Now look what's happening. Manchester United has approached Ortega representatives, right, to check what kind of a deal they can do. What is the current situation with him? Is he willing to move? Always remember there's always issues between moving from Manchester United to Liverpool or Arsenal to Tottenham and all those, maybe Liverpool to Everton and maybe Chelsea to Tottenham, those kind of dynamics. So if United, if they get the sense of it from the representative, say he's willing to move and this is how much they would want and all those kind of things, then they'll be able now to approach Manchester United and present their bid. But remember, there is also Donnarumma on that. Donnarumma seems to wants to move to the Premiership, right? Already, everybody knows that he has refused to sign a new deal with PSG. So Donnarumma wants to join. Chelsea's in there as well. They haven't made any moves. They just looking. Uh, Manchester United, they've already started scouting on him, look at him and see if he is. You know what? For me, if I was Manchester United, I would concentrate on Ortega, right? The problem with bringing a lot of players from these foreign countries is that it it doesn't mean that when you bring a top player from another country, he's going to perform in England, right? Because the weather is different, the the games itself they're different. In England, it's too fast for any other league in the world. There's quite a lot. So Ortega has it's proven himself in the English league. He has been with Manchester for quite some time. So Manchester City for quite some time. So if he's cheaper, I think they can go for it. Then they can dispose the current keepers they have. So it's something that they just need to look at and see what needs to happen there. But as I said, if I was Chelsea, I could have gone for this keeper for Ortega and then see what we can do with the current list of goalkeepers that we have. Because at the end of the day, you know what, you for you to win the league, the Champions League, you need to have a top class goalkeeper. You need to have a goalkeeper where he can make saves, where he can be able to make distributions, where he can be able to, even penalties, right? To save penalties, right? So those are some of the things, and I've said it before in my previous videos that you have all the top four teams, the top five teams, excluding Chelsea, they've got top class goalkeeper. That's why at one point I'd say that it was important for Chelsea to go to even to Villa and get Martinez, right? Because at least he played in the World Cup. He won the World Cup with Argentina. He has been playing for Villa in the top level. He once played for Arsenal and all those kind of things. So you've got a keeper who is top class, right? Even though he's now around 33 and so forth, he will then start grooming the other keepers that we have. 2 year contracts or a 3 year contract would be good for us. So yeah, so that's what I just wanted to bring in the afternoon. Remember, we are waiting for news for Javi Simons. We are waiting for news for Hato. Anytime from now, here we go. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. Something is going to come up. Have a good day further, ladies and gentlemen.